It's time now for our deals report. Broadcom CEO meeting with Treasury officials today. Hock Tan's goal was to address U.S. government concerns that his bid for Qualcomm threatens national security. Now, joining us now to discuss this Bloomberg senior deals report, Ed Hammond, and of course his goal was to indicate that it doesn't threaten national security. What can you tell us about the meeting? What have we learned?
So what we've learned, Scarlet, at this point is it's just ended in the last sort of half an hour. It sounds like it went reasonably well from a Broadcom perspective. They were able to make their case to CFIUS as to why they wouldn't be a threat to national security. I think they specifically talked about investments they've already made in the US, will continue to make, that would actually be positive from a national security point of view. There's also this interesting issue that Broadcom thus far have not in person had any meetings with CFIUS. So this was really their first opportunity to present themselves as good actors in all of this. On the flip side, there is at least a feeling on the Broadcom side that Qualcomm have met a lot with CFIUS, have been in some ways the driving force behind a lot of what CFIUS has said in the past few days about this merger being potentially a risk for national security.
At the same time, while Hock Tan and Broadcom haven't met with CFIUS, Hock Tan has been in Washington, as we saw from that video, right, when they made the announcement of the move to the U.S. and building of plants in the U.S. So how is that factoring into all of this? Yeah,
it's going to be a fascinating element of this. So you're right, he met Trump before he actually announced anything with Qualcomm. He announced that he would be redomiciling Broadcom to the U.S. That was back in November. He had this moment with Trump where Trump said he was a great guy, great for America, great for creating jobs. So you would essentially see that as a get-out-of-jail-free card for them. They maybe felt that with that support from Trump, they had carte blanche to go and do this deal. That has obviously not been the case. Now, interestingly, CFIUS said this morning that they may refer this case up to Trump because they feel like there is potentially an argument to be made that the president himself should have some veto of this or some right to block this deal. Now, if you're Hock Tan right now, do you feel that goes in your favor, or do you feel that potentially Trump is going to come out and say, no, actually, having looked at it, we don't like the deal at all?
Wow, it gets more interconnected constantly here. Broadcom's supposed to complete its move to the U.S. by April 3rd, which is now 2 days before Qualcomm's annual meeting, which, of course, we know is pushed back by about 30 days pending this investigation. How does that factor into how regulators look at this?
Well, so one of the specific complaints CFIUS made today was actually about the changing of the date of this meeting. So you're right, Qualcomm's shareholder meeting was pushed back. Broadcom have pulled forward their relocating to the U.S. by about a month. So CFIUS have basically said, look, you need to give us 5 business days notice if you're going to do this redomiciling. They're saying that Broadcom did not tell them about the decision to move back or to accelerate this move back in time. Now, the interesting thing is, why does CFIUS want this 5 days? Is it potentially so that they can seek some kind of injunction to prevent Broadcom redomiciling? Because the element here that is sort of slightly fluid and hasn't been well explained yet is, if Broadcom is back in the US, does CFIUS essentially lose its remit? Like, does CFIUS no longer therefore has jurisdiction over Broadcom, because Broadcom at that point is a US company. Now, there could potentially be a very interesting twist here where they could look at it retroactively and say, because Broadcom's move was done knowing that they were going to do Qualcomm, they did it to evade a CFIUS review, and therefore CFIUS may be able to look at this retroactively, but there is no precedent for that right now.